The grand economic rebalancing act now underway at the Federal Reserve carries echoes of an intricate choreography, one requiring immense precision, technical mastery, and vigilant monitoring to keep inflation subdued without shattering the resilience of the American labor market. It is a high-stakes performance in which Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell now finds himself as the principal dancer, scrutinized by a nation hanging on his every movement. In a revealing interview on Monday with the Economic Club of Washington, Powell signaled a potent shift in tone and emphasis. Long consumed with the fight against stubbornly high inflation, the Fed chief suggested that recent data points have imbued the central bank with somewhat greater confidence that consumer prices are gliding back toward the coveted 2% goal. His articulation hinted at an increasing attunement to the vulnerabilities pervading the job market as well. We didn't gain any additional confidence in the first quarter, but the 3 readings in the second quarter, including the one from last week, do add somewhat to confidence, Powell remarked, referring to the latest inflation metrics. This delicate phrasing seems to telegraph a message. The Fed has discerned enough progress on costs to entertain nudging rates lower, but remains circumspect about declaring complete victory. Indeed, Powell's choreographed statements suggest the Fed may be inching toward lowering interest rates from levels not witnessed in over 2 decades. A maneuver aimed at cooling the economic engines just enough to ease price pressures without extinguishing the furnaces that power employment altogether. As he put it, the Fed's twin mandates of price stability and maximum employment are now in much better balance. The data auguring this shift has been unmistakable. Inflation downshifting broadly across consumer sectors in June, even dipping into negative territory for the first time since 2020. Rising joblessness has also served as a flashing indicator, with the unemployment rate gradually creeping upward to its highest reading since 2021 as other labor market metrics have softened. Traders have taken note, betting on at least 2 quarter-point rate cuts materializing before 2024 concludes, commencing as soon as September. My sense is that we'd really have to get adverse readings to knock them off the path of a 25 basis point rate cut in September, remarked Kathy Bostjancic of Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company, diagnosing the Fed's likely trajectory. Yet Powell's performance hints that more than adroit economic maneuvering is at play. There are intimations of a revived harmony between the Fed's twin priorities after a period of lopsided focus on vanquishing inflation, a rebalancing evocative of the deft footwork required to master the most challenging pas de deux. For Powell knows well that this intricate routine risks a fall if not executed with painstaking care and constant recalibration. Overly aggressive rate cuts could reinvigorate inflation anew. Excessive economic cooling could catalyze a recession that hammers employment. In the Fed chair's own phrasing, "We want to get this right." Powell's ruminations ultimately reveal a dance far more nuanced than merely reining in consumer prices. It is a choreographic riddle in which too forceful a downward rate adjustment could imperil labor market stamina, while meekness allows the inflationary specter to regain its menacing posture. The technical heights to which Powell must now aspire call for a maestro's dexterity. He must sustain economic growth while moderating its feverish pace, preserve the job market's core vitality while trimming its overheated excesses, and most dauntingly inspire confidence that the Fed can accomplish this intricate maneuver through sheer mastery of economic craft and policy. For the American public observing this high-stakes performance, there is rapt uncertainty over whether the Fed can stick the landing. Yet Powell's latest articulations radiate a quiet self-assurance, the poise of a prima ballerina exuding grace under remarkable pressures. It seems to me that the neutral rate is probably higher than it was during the inter-crisis period, and so rates will be higher, he remarked of the policy stance that neither spurs nor suppresses growth. This set piece suggests a choreographer's cognizance that economic forces have evolved during the Fed's long battle against inflation, creating a fresh terrain that necessitates a remapping of traditional guideposts. Perhaps most revealingly, Powell reaffirmed the Fed's staunch political independence, its liberation from White House sway or partisan whims as it executes this delicate economic ballet. In condemning the violence against Donald Trump while declining to opine on its potential market reverberations, he reinforced the Fed's resolute non-alignment, even as our democracy endures its own existential strains. As this grand economic rebalancing advances, all eyes are riveted on Powell, the doyen of this immense production, who must artfully choreography each subtle gesture. His performance is a masterwork in constant reimagination, its opening movements elegantly establishing an overarching narrative of progress, while hinting that the denouement remains unwritten. For the American public witnessing Powell's intricate maneuvers, there is a swelling recognition that the road back to economic equilibrium requires nuance, patience, and, above all, technical brilliance rivaling that of history's most venerated theatrical icons. This is a choreographic epic whose final reviews will be writ not in immediate reactions but over the elongated passages of time, wherein the sustaining rhythms of prosperity are ultimately forged.